In the bottom left as player 1, we have Spotyus playing Tenri.
So a lot of, okay. Oh, that's very interesting. Spotyus did not heal Commander on turn 1. I wonder what the plan is for that.
Top right, player 2, we have Saikoya, who also hasn't healed off the terror.
I mean, that's normal for player 2, but it's not for player 1. So one option that this allows is it allows either a turn 2 thief or a turn 2 mage. Both are possible for player 1. It does. Okay,
This goes for a sword.
makes sense.
So we don't see anything too out of the norm.
I wonder if Spotyus is going to charge Groove off the village, or if he's going to capture instead. My instinct would be to capture, but possibly Spotyus has something planned.
This is true. I mean, Tenri Groove is very, very scary on this map because, you know, she can pick off units. There aren't that many units on this map. There's very limited production.
Right.
But I do think Thief is a really good option on this map. And actually, Thief with Tenri is pretty scary here because you can do things like steal from the stronghold and then Tenri Groove it back.
That's true. If you do it at maximum range, it actually gets you back in like a single turn. So it does look like Spotyus is going for the thief.
And I assume we're going to see him capture the village on the left. Yes. The sword can reach the village on the right, so...
Right. This makes the most sense in terms of capture order. Because next turn, sword will probably capture and then Tenri will heal off the captured village.
Seeing Spear come out. How do you feel about Spear on this map?
Definitely not as good as normal because spears are really good when they're in large numbers, right? Like a spear alone is not that efficient. And on this map, you actually don't see a lot of knights and things like that, which would make spears a lot better. So I would think that a sword or dart would be preferred over a spear, but let's see what Spotyus has planned.
The Saikoya going for mage makes a lot of sense. They are great for tempo, they're great for capture, they threaten air, so...
And they're good with Emmerich.
Yes, this is very true. Yeah, because they get the crit condition from his... crystal.
From his group, yeah. Spotyus left with just 250 gold this turn. Oh, he goes for double pikes. Okay, we're starting the pike train here with double pikes from Spotyus.
I wonder if he... Because obviously if you've played this map a bunch, you'll just know how much gold you're going to have for the first, 5 turns. It's always the same.
Right.
So I guess he knows that if the thief does the capture, he can just double pike.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So it's interesting, right? Because it's 500, these 2 pikes are 500, and instead of that, he could have gotten the sword and mage like Saikoya did. So now there's a asymmetry in the unit comp. So they're not just mirroring each other, which is interesting. And what I do find interesting also is that Saikoya actually captures this village on the left side with the sword. And now Spotyus can actually build a second thief if he wants and steal from that village again. Okay, but he doesn't. Oh, actually it's still an option because Tenri didn't kill the village. So he could do that if he wanted.
Oh, that's actually really smart. Yeah, he could just continually steal from this village if you want to. I mean, the other thing he could do is he decaps it with Tenri, captures it with the sword, and then heals from it, and then starts threatening the other villages. And Tenri, you know, she's gonna have 35 groove at the end of this turn, and then another 30 on top of that the next turn if she wants. So she could be very well on her way to building groove, and that's what she wants, right? Tenri groove is so scary that
Right.
you can be very creative with it as well.
Yeah, it basically lets you do almost anything like once during the game, maybe twice if you're lucky. Saikoya going to get groove this turn. He's at 90. At the end turn, he'll have another plus 10. So definitely getting groove this turn. And he has a mage in position to immediately start creating things, which is always nice as Emmerich. Okay, so actually Spotyus didn't get the thief like we were talking about. Instead, he got a knight. I don't know that I like this game plan a lot because Saikoya's plan here will always be balloon, pike, and mage spam with some thieves mixed in. Like Saikoya has 2 thieves already, and this knight will just not be very good against that comp in general.
And we're seeing Tenri knock the village there, so yeah, he's going for groove, and this 1 health village is a very big target for him.
That's true as well. So Tenri could have groove conceivably within the next 2 or 3 turns. It's not that much later than Emmerich. And it will arrive like sort of before Emmerich has any significant HQ pressure here.
Ooh, doesn't get the roll he wants on that village. So
It was like this was almost never going to work, right? Because it's 40 average, and the village was at 45. So unless you max roll it, it's not going down.
okay, well maybe he just wants to. I guess doing this means the village can't be run, like he can't run Emmerich back to heal from it.
That's true.
And
Also, you could be.
I think
you
we're
could
gonna
be
say the
setting up-
same thing. Yeah, like the suicide sword is now available.
Yeah. I don't know it will be that valuable against Emmerich though, because Emmerich is very difficult to kill under his crystal. I wonder if Saikoya is going to use his groove this turn. I mean, it's quite likely, I think. You could place the crystal like 1 square above Emmerich. That spot would cover most of the squares that Saikoya will want to stand on.
Ooh, he's just positioning his units very aggressively. So the cool thing he could do here is he could send the thief in to steal from the stronghold and then crystal defend it. And then all of a sudden you've basically got a thief sitting on a mountain tile.
Right. And like the balloon can go onto the river above the stronghold as well to prevent attacks from that side. And then you would also have Emmerich being blocking off another side. So the thief steal might be quite safe here. Depends on how Spotyus moves though. Overall, I think Saikoya is kind of a hit now at the moment. Although Spotyus does have like strong pressure. Oh wow. Okay, Emmerich saving his groove. Just standing 1 tile outside of the knight's range, avoiding the crit. And yeah, I think this is totally safe for Saikoya because he's in range of a bunch of his own units, and the mage crit will always be an option. Sword crits potentially, so it's probably very safe.
Well, speaking of things that are very safe, you could just put the Harpy in front of the stronghold now. The mage moved just out of range.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that would block the Thief Steal. That's a great spot for the Harpy. Oh, Spotyus sword going to the ends of the earth here. But it does maintain pressure on this like 1 HP village or 12% village in the bottom right. Spotyus still down on overall income though. Like Saikoya has these 2 center villages and Spotyus hasn't gotten those on his own side.
And it like just shuffles forward ever so slightly.
Spotyus is probably going to maintain a safe distance, social distancing against Emmerich. Stay out of the mage crit range. Oh, that's not what I was thinking. Okay. Okay,
Oh.
so he hits. Wow, okay, okay. I don't think this attack will be very effective. Now I think Saikoya has like a strong counter attack potential. With mage crit, he can definitely take out this like 4 HP pike, right? 43% pike.
Yeah.
And then the mage crit. Yeah, and then the mage crit takes out the other one.
Yeah, I think that was a bit too daring.
Yeah. Saikoya has started the balloon train. Look at these mage and balloon. We might actually see dragon from Saikoya next turn. Because he has the money for it.
I feel like, yeah, like these spears, like he's gonna lose both of them for very little gain.
Right. So sets up the crystal, yup. And the mage crit probably. Yup, and double thief steals. Probably gonna come down here.
Yep, and they're both under crystal, so...
And there's a balloon that can send them right back. Yup, mage crit comes down.
And yeah, he really needed the pikes. Like, imagine if there were 2 spears here and Emmerich was at full health, like...
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the 2 spears don't really do anything here because there's not enough attacking space, right? Like these villagers just block all the spots that you would want to stand on in order to attack. Which is like one of the features of this map. It's very tight and constrained in that sense. Saikoya doesn't capture the bottom village, which I would have thought he would, but guess there's... Actually, I'm not sure why he didn't, but oh well.
I think this is a map where you can make a very small mistake and lose, and this, I think, like, honestly, just those spears dying kind of sealed the deal.
Right.
Like, if he had 2 full health spears sitting right here, he would actually be able to mount some kind of defense.
To be honest, it wouldn't be that effective because all of these units are like under crystal, and the thing is, Emmerich can 1-hit KO your stuff, and you can only 2-hit KO his stuff. So it's never going to be good trading into his units. Especially on a map like this where unit count is really important. So actually Saikoya doesn't even bother with a dragon. Like he had money for it, but just didn't bother. Just built another balloon and another mage. Ah, okay. Okay, Saikoya. Anyway, Spotyus going to have Groove at the end of this turn. Which is cool. This thief steal is safe. Right, yeah, it is safe by Spotyus. So he did get he does have that going for him. But like Saikoya got way more on the bottom.
Yeah, like this is a huge army, and Spotyus does not have a huge army.
So just economically as well, like Saikoya profited 2 thieves and Spotyus only profited 1. And the thief's going to not be able to get back so quickly for Spotyus. While Saikoya has the balloons to just drop them off immediately.
Okay, he's gonna start trading into this.
Yeah, it's not gonna be that effective, I feel. Like Saikoya has the backup mage for the harpy, and like this knight is just gonna die to the pike. Well, it won't die, but you know, might as well be dead. This already looks quite over.
I guess the idea is that Spotyus wants to threaten to win the game in like one big play. So like Tenri runs up to the stronghold and grooves a knight to crit it.
The knight's not in groove range though. It's too far away. Tenri is 11 tiles away from Spotyus's knight, and yeah, it's not gonna reach.
The knight also has to survive for that play to work as well.
Yeah,
So
it's not going to survive. Probably just the sword is going to attack the knight and probably kill it. It's a coin flip as to whether that kills actually. Mage is definitely going down, right? The dog and Emmerich, or just the dog and the sword, and Emmerich doesn't even need to do anything, like can just step back.
I guess you want to finish off either of these units though. Like if you can kill one of them.
Right. So he's definitely going to kill the mage. It's just a question of whether he's also going to try to kill the knight. Actually, like using Saikoya could just use his mage crit to take out the knight. There's like nothing that threatens the mage. It's like on a mountain, and yeah, no anti-mage units in the vicinity. Dog actually just hits the thief, and the thief is now going to like have to struggle a little bit to get back, right? Like Spotyus' thief. There's no balloon nearby to help it get back. There's like a sword and a dog in the north, so Saikoya can kill those, but it draws resources and attention away from like Saikoya's army, which is now directly threatening Spotyus' stronghold. Oh my, Saikoya with the 4th balloon of the game.
That's a really nice balloon position because the thief wants to run south so Tenri can kill the dog. But now it can only run to where that mountain tile is, or next to the mountain tile, and the sword could just run up and kill it.
Right. Yeah. So I think that thief is probably trapped. It's not surrounded, but it might as well be.
Its only survivable move, the only survivable move it can make is to run up and to the right.
Yeah, you're right about that. Like, that's not really surviving, is it?
Oh, I
So,
mean, you're alive for one turn longer. You have to
it's
go.
true.
You have to move your thief away from your hideout when it's like carrying a sack of gold, which is
Or Tenri could just groove it back and like deposit, but that feels like a bit of a waste of the groove.
yeah. I think the groove wants to be used as a way of like getting a big win, and grooving. If it was 1,000 gold it was carrying, then sure, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
But it's not 1,000 gold it's carrying. It is carrying. Yep. I mean, Spotyus needs to move. He's gonna go and kill this dog. Yep. Realizes he has like one safe play and that's it.
It's like walking on the razor's edge here. It's just out of range of both the sword and the mage. Sword in the top left and mage in the right side.
Okay, knight is in position. So he can groove the knight now. Just gonna do a bit of damage to this sword, because I guess why not?
Yeah, I mean that sword is probably not getting out of that corner otherwise.
Yeah, actually being
So
aggressive does mean that it can't die to the enemy sword. Like this sword has been kind of the MVP. Like it went deep, knocked the village down, kept another sword busy, did some damage. Does some damage to that balloon. I like this play.
it's like unexpectedly good because Saikoya's game plan is to use the balloons to sort of wall off his ground units. So like dealing free damage to them whenever you can, sort of prevents that a little bit.
Alright, my question here is, does sword hit, harpy hit, knight crit kill a stronghold?
Um, well, if the sword was a crit, then yes, and it would be guaranteed.
Okay, I guess if all three high roll it could?
But yeah, you're right. Actually, there's no way for the sword to get a crit, right? Because Tenri needs to move down to get the knight up, so it won't be a crit. And also, Saikoya just has like, if he sees it, he has so many balloons that he can block with, and like Spotyus doesn't have mages in that area.
So it's gonna come down to Saikoya spotting this. He's gonna deposit all this gold first.
If he doesn't spot it, it's actually like a coin flip.
The harpy
Okay.
actually hits a stronghold pretty hard.
Yeah. So the night crit would be 105 on the village, and the harpy would be 55, and the sword would be 40. So in total, that's 200 village damage, or an expected 100 damage on the stronghold. The strongholds take like half the damage. So Spotyus has a coin flip to win the game if Saikoya doesn't see it. There's like two things that need to happen here. First, Saikoya needs to not see the possibility, and then Spotyus needs to actually get the high rolls. Saikoya with 1,931 gold.
On a map with how much income does this have when it's split map? Is it
1,100.
1100? Right. So he's got a lot of money to play around with.
Stonks.
And
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
this
Saikoya
is the play.
Nope. So Saikoya just shuts it all down. There will be no Stronghold lethal for you this game, my good sir. And Saikoya now has a dragon, which will like shut it down even more. Because the dragon can't even be killed by a mage. So, I mean, it's funny to say that like the dragon tanking the mage, but like, I mean, if it works.
Okay, he's gonna make a wall with these balloons and finish off that sword. Saikoya
Yeah, I
seems
feel like-
very content to just
Saikoya will have even more money next turn because this thief is going to die.
it could be kept alive. There is a route for it to take to stay alive.
Yeah, I mean, you have to decap the village and run it back and then like block with a harp. Okay, at that point, it's like not worth it, right? Man.
If you kill the sword with Tenri and run it up, like left 1 and up 2, it's just out of dragon range and just out of spear range.
You're right, actually. A pitiful forced existence on the sidelines. It's like a white elephant at that point. You don't really want it. I mean, you want it, but it's like costing you so much.
The harpy's gonna be aggressive. I mean, it can. So
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with that. But this thief is... Oh, okay. Spotyus is doing the exact play that you mentioned.
yep.
Props to you.
This is some like James Bond's like John Wick level thief.
What I would really like to see is Spotyus build a second thief and then try to steal off the stronghold. Like he's never going to get a stronghold lethal here because Saikoya has all these balloons. But a successful steal might kind of swing it back in his favor. Although not by much, but it would be something. And then there's a question of, is Spotyus just going to die this turn?
I don't think so, because if he can kill the spear, his stronghold's only open on 2 sides. So he either sits where he is, like just moves his knight somewhere where it can't get hit. Keeps it out of spear range, and then make sure, because the pike can't kill, although I say it can't kill. Oh, actually, there are some sneaky plays that could take place here. He needs to clear that pike because... oh wait, no, a pike crit doesn't kill a mage on planes, does it?
No, it doesn't.
So...
It's very barely out of the needed damage.
Okay, so there is a play here though to make it work. Is that if Saikoya suicides the sword into that mage from the river, which I think will work.
No, but then you have nothing to hit on the side that you opened up, right? Like even if you kill the mage with the sword suicide and the pike crit, you have nothing left to actually attack from that space that you opened up.
Oh, that is true actually.
Actually, this is kind of interesting. Spotyus sort of forced Saikoya to use his groove, and now Saikoya doesn't have groove, and yeah, Saikoya can't really... I mean, Saikoya has a strong defensive position, like here, inside his crystal, but like, can he actually leave this and like move forward? It's questionable as to whether he can, because Tenri still has groove, and once you leave the crystal, well, you've left the crystal.
Oh. I think you can actually just kill the stronghold at this point. Because, yeah, you can it's pike crit,
yeah,
American mage, yeah.
Well, actually, pike crit will be... Okay, I'm gonna talk about this in terms of a village. Pike crit will be like 88, 87 or so. Emmerich will be 75. Then the mage will be 40. So it's actually it's a coin flip, slightly unfavored if Saikoya were to try to kill it now. Or you could also do sword crit. No, you can't do sword crit because Emmerich has the attack. You could heal the sword, but that doesn't do more damage than the mage. So it's actually unfavored odds, I feel. Well, Spotyus is doing a good job of staying in the game. Like, despite saying, ooh, okay. Yeah, so Saikoya is just gonna retreat and defend now, I feel. I think he's just gonna use the dragon to kill this mage, which he just injured, yeah. I think that was probably a major misplay, I'll say, by Spotyus, just leaving that mage within both the pike and the dragon range. You have to remember mages they sort of counter dragons, but actually if the dragon gets the first hit, they don't actually counter dragons. Well, with that said though, Tenri can now groove the dragon, which could be a nice play. She could groove the dragon into range of this new mage that Spotyus just built. So that's something that could happen.
Yeah, I think that is the obvious play. Like, I don't think anything else is gonna live if... Because yeah, the dragon's just so threatening. But if you do that...
Man, oh, the balloons surround on the harpy. Oof.
Yeah, he needed that mage to stay alive.
He really did, because Saikoya has 5 air units and Spotty 6 air units, because 5 balloons and a dragon. Oh my god. 5 balloons. Saikoya at this point, like his balloons can carry all the ground units that he has. Like he has enough balloons to put them all in, all his ground units in balloons if he wanted to. Yeah. So, and like we said, Spotyus can use Groove to like kill the dragon, right? But at this point, is it even enough? Because he's so behind on income. Like he's 800 to 1400. Saikoya's not going to lose any of his income anytime soon. And the longer this drags out, the more it is in favor of Saikoya, because his income lead will just begin smashing away, begin making itself felt.
Yep, and he's just gonna go for the dragon. Gets the crit. And that's a nice pick. Obviously, it's not, you know, game winning, but it is nice. I guess he maybe just builds his own second thief this turn and tries to bully his way back into the game that way.
Well, you have to do something. Like you can't just if you are passive here, I feel like you just roll over and die if you are passive. So it's not an option to be passive. And you do need some sort of long-term plan to deal with all of Saikoya's balloons, which, I mean, Saikoya's just gonna accumulate balloons, right? Like, there is no stopping the balloon train.
He may honestly just build a balloon every turn.
I expect him to. I would not be surprised if he does that.
Another knight comes out? Okay. I mean, he's got Archer to deal with the spear, right? So...
Yeah.
And this thief is slowly gonna make its way back.
Very slowly.
But that was an okay turn. I mean, he picked off one of the ground units, so...
Yeah, it was okay. So it was an okay turn. It's just doubtful that it will be enough.
Saikoya has not just like 5 balloons, he has 4 mages as well.
I feel like the strategy for dealing with balloons has to be that you just ignore them and do something somewhere else, right? Because balloons don't attack, they just block spaces. So if they're not blocking important spaces, then you mostly don't care about them being there. So the problem is when they can block like
Just
important spaces that you need to have or be able to use. That's when they become like super annoying.
I mean, I feel like the Great Wall of balloon that we're seeing right now is
Oh man. Yep.
right. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I know how you deal with this. You build mages, but when you're limited to
Right.
one mage a turn, it can be a challenge.
Right.
You know, if his mage was still alive, although the dragon would probably still be alive as well.
Saikoya just has enough money to buy a second dragon.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll trade my dragon for your mage and your groove. I'll just build a second dragon, and you can't build a second groove.
So now Emmerich has groove again, so he can. Honestly, I think this is when the head, not the headquarters, the stronghold steel comes into play.
Yep. Yeah, it's quite likely because Emmerich still has his original crystal, and once he gets the second crystal down, there will be so much coverage. Like Sakuya has enough money to heal the crystal as well if he wants to, so he can maintain it. Although there probably won't be any need to once the second crystal comes down.
Well, I mean, his first one's gonna pop at this turn, right?
Oh, you're right, actually. Yeah.
So he gets his second one
Oh,
just in time, but
yeah.
he's moving the mage up. I think he realizes that his stronghold's like fairly safe. Like Saikoya doesn't have a knight. Like, and a knight would be the
Same.
unit that would really threaten it.
I feel like just mage crits will be incredibly threatening.
That is true. He does have a lot of mages, and Spotyus can't
Also,
wall against that actually.
yeah, I mean, also, there's no need for Saikoya to be impatient here and like try to go for a stronghold lethal when there's like knights and stuff around. And actually, like, Saikoya put his knight within range of. Sorry, Spotyus put his knight within range of Saikoya's newly built dragon. I feel like we'll definitely see this knight getting attacked at least once. And then just balloons coming in to.
Oh,
Oh,
cover.
well,
Oh, but there is a mage that could counter crit it,
oh,
so
you're right. Yeah, so I mean, it's possible that you could kill this sword and then like use balloons to block off the mage. Here's something that's funny. So Emmerich could like move 2 left and 1 up and stand in the river and then like put a crystal down, and then like you could get a mage crit on the sword, and Emmerich would be kind of safe because, you know, balloons and he's on the plains tile effectively.
Spotyus is making him work for it though. Like, the funny thing here is that oh, there goes that crystal. He actually is threatening Night Crit and Harpy hit on the stronghold if he can kill one of these balloons, or 2 of them even.
That's true, but like there's no follow up to that, I feel. Saikoya will just never allow a follow up to that. Firstly, he won't allow it, and then secondly, there'll be no follow up, even if he allowed it.
He even heals the balloon, just keeps his wall alive.
Like the really stylish play that I mentioned would be like Saikoya just puts a crystal down so that his mage can crit the sword, and then his dragon could hit the knight and stuff. He's just gonna do it. Wonder if he's gonna bother with the. Yeah, he's not gonna bother. He's just gonna let the mage crit take out the dragon. Just why not? You know.
Yeah, I mean, this gets rid of the lethal on the stronghold, so like any kind of potential threat. And he has such a huge income lead that he doesn't really care.
Right.
Even
So
sets
it's
the thief
interesting.
up to steal the top left village.
It's interesting to think. Oh, okay.
This should protect us.
So Sakura probably gonna get sword crit on the stronghold.
He might go
Um,
for a thief steal instead, though.
Well, you could do both. I do feel like thief steal is probably happening though. It's because it's the reliable value play, right? Like, yeah. And then you can block the river tower with a balloon. Yep.
Yep. Got thief on a mountain, like Emmerich's basically on a forest. And honestly, you don't even really need the balloon there because it's not like any units can actually reach that tile.
That's you're actually so right about that. I wasn't considering that, but you're right about that. Small optimization that could have been done. I mean, visually, this is just the formation that you would want to have, but in this specific case, it's not needed.
I guess like having the balloon there means you can just escape in it. So
That's true.
if we take a look at the gold, Spotyus is gonna start the next turn with negative income.
Oh no, negative gold. Can't even buy anything. So sad. It must be unfortunate. Must feel so bad to be in this position. And yeah, sword crit comes down. Saikoya has easy lethal next turn.
And like you can't even clear the balloon. Like the mages won't kill. In theory, I think he can kill the top balloon if he archer crits it and mage hits it. I think that kills, but
But like, it doesn't matter, right? Like, you kill one balloon, so what? Saikoya now has 6 balloons.
how much do you do to a thief? Alright, so the archer crit wouldn't even kill the thief normally if it was on planes.
Yeah, thieves are, for some reason, nothing comes close to one hit killing them except like swords, which is so weird.
Yeah, but I mean, like a sword crit will kill a thief on basically anything. So
Right, yeah. Swords are the anti-thief unit. One and only.
okay, he's gonna kill that unit for some reason. Like,
I mean, it is a mage on a river tile, so.
the thief is slowly making its way back. It might actually. I mean, there's a dragon that could just roast it.
No, dragon will probably die. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't see any reason not to make that attack, since Saikoya allowed it.
I mean, it does mean he has to dedicate the mage to the north as opposed to trying to defend the south. But
But like, it's true. Well, I don't. But like, if you don't kill the dragon, I'm almost certain that it will be guaranteed lethal on the stronghold if you don't kill the dragon. At least this way, it's not so clear. Especially if you kill this sword and then like put other things around it to block stuff.
I actually just realized he could have popped the crystal with the archer and the knight.
Well, that's true, but like then you would spend most of your army on killing the crystal and like not enough on killing the things that are killing your stronghold. Spotty is doing a really good job of staying in it, just slowly absorbing the pressure. Well, it's not that slow, but He's absorbing the pressure.
Funnily enough, for as far ahead as like Saikoya is, their army, if you just discount the balloons, right? The
Yeah.
armies are actually like fairly even.
Right. I think there's just lethal on the stronghold this turn though. Like, well, maybe Saikoya's not gonna go for it.
No, he can spear hit and mage crit the stronghold. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
enough.
That I don't think that'll be enough.
Well, he's
mean-
not. He's just gonna kill units, and I think that's actually the right choice.
I mean, it would be a coin flip, and Saikoya doesn't want a coin flip at the moment. He wants guaranteed, consistent plays that will put him ahead.
Yeah, he's even just gonna keep stealing, and that is Spotyus gonna have 300 gold next turn.
Pike comes down on this mage. Spotyus now just has a bunch of injured units that he can't heal up, and Saikoya could run his dog into the mage here and then wall off Tenri with balloons on 3 sides, and there will be like nothing to stop that. Yeah, he's doing it. Oh, just wall Tenri off on 2 sides. Okay, that's acceptable as well.
Yeah, I guess he wants to leave one side on the stronghold open for next turn.
Right. Because the way that Saikoya did it, there will almost definitely be 3 sides on the stronghold open next turn. So Spotyus has to try to kill this army. I feel like it's just not going to happen though. So what he could do is, Saikoya actually built another dragon. Oh, fun. Anyway, I feel like what Spotyus could do, or what he has to try in this position is just invest everything in just trying to kill as many units as possible. And this mage next to Stronghold has to die. You have to kill it. But even then, I feel like there's just lethal on the Stronghold next turn. Even if you kill the mage, there will be a mage crit, an Emmerich hit, and a pike hit. And you can heal up the pike with like the mage further back. So there is definitely lethal here next turn on the Stronghold. It doesn't even kill it actually, so even more lethal because the mage can suicide.
I think the mage can suicide now, so it's like even more damage.
Right. I mean, props to Spotyus for staying in it this long, but now it's just over.
Yeah, mage crit suicide.
I wonder if you can even heal it up before you do the suicide. Or I wonder if Saikoya is even going to go for it.
I think that might be a bit too risky, just because you're technically on a forest tile, so that like little bit of defense might skew it in favor of living.
Yeah, we would have to do the cogs. I don't feel like running the numbers.
I don't think Saikoya does either. I mean, he may very well not try and lethal. He might just surround Henry with Balloon Dragon.
Oh my god. What a meme. Okay. I think Saikoya is just going to go for lethal here though. I mean, if he wanted to be like 100% extra certain, he could just continue killing the army, and then there would really be nothing left to resist the Stronghold lethal on the following turn after that, which would also lead to a win. It's just 1 turn slower, but it doesn't matter.
I mean, what? He might, for the sake of like being a good sport, not kill. Oh no, he's gonna kill it. Okay, never mind. I thought he might leave it alive, just to let the thief, after its long journey, return gold, but no.
So what's funny is that in that game, the kills and deaths were like kind of even on both sides, but Saikoya just had so many more units at the end because he kept building balloons and thieves.
Yeah. I honestly think if those 2 spears hadn't been thrown away like that at the start, the game might have been a bit closer, because he didn't get anything from hitting Emmerich. Like, all he did was lose his 2 spears. He didn't gain any kind of advantage.
Yeah.
They just died for free. So 2 extra spears at the bottom actually might have allowed him to hold on.
It would definitely have made Saikoya's attacks there like less free in a sense, because like the way it played out, it was just super free. There was nothing to do. You couldn't even think about doing anything. It was just too free.
And like once Saikoya had that lead, like once he was on 2 thieves that were both stealing, the game was basically over. Like if you are up a thief just in general against an opponent and that thief is actually putting in work, you will probably win the game as long as like you're trading
Right.
fairly evenly, just because the economy advantage you get from that is so huge.
Right. Actually, it's a bit of a digression here, but like I like thieves in Wargroove for that reason. It's like the RTS triangle, which you probably know a lot about, right? Like econ, attack, and defense. Like thieves are the econ aspect.
Yeah, they're like kind of like the anti-econ, because they're like the attack unit that you use to win on.
Right.
So it's got its own little triangle like of like a kind of Venn diagram of like you've got the standard like economy, defense, attack, but you've also got this like economic attack and
Right.
like that beats economics, which loses to defense. Or loses to opponents actually aggression as opposed to defense.
Right.
Because you have to be. So yeah, it's very interesting. I think thieves are one of the best design units in the game.
Definitely.
And they came alongside rifles, which are not one of the best designed units in the game.
Uh,
But we're gonna go into game 2, so